How's it going, everybody? My name is Greg Slone. Thanks for checking out my channel on YouTube called Drum Power. Um, Most of the episodes that I do on this channel, of course, have to do with music, mostly drumming, but also I talk about guitars on here and bass and singing and vocals, studio engineering work, even working out. Things that I think can help professional drummers, professional musicians across the board. So this is kind of another take on that, on trying to be healthy and stay healthy, and just going over, a personal situation affecting me. And I'm thinking, it's a pretty high chance that a few of you are dealing with the same thing or something similar. So I just figured this will be the first video I make about this subject, and as I'm progressing through this health situation, hopefully I just continue to do videos, and you can, maybe hopefully learn from my situation, and if you're dealing with the same thing or something similar, it can help you with that. So that being said, what this video is about is my current battle with prostate cancer. So I just found out, a few months ago that I have prostate cancer, and luckily it was found with a blood test called a PSA test, in which your doctor just does blood work and they check this PSA level, which, if it's high, is not always, a guaranteed indication that you have prostate cancer, but it's possible. And so then they do, other follow-up tests to see if you do have the prostate cancer. And for those of you who do have prostate cancer or know other people that have had it or are currently dealing with it, there's lots of levels to it. In general, it's usually a slower growing cancer, and you usually have time to deal with it or get a treatment plan worked out, and especially if you catch it with a PSA test early. So that's my first thing I want to say. For any of you guys out there, I'd say 40 age and over, make sure you're getting a PSA blood test done and have those levels checked. So in the case of mine, I had a PSA level of 12.2, which is very high, not nowhere near the highest that it could be. I had a friend actually who had a PSA level, I think it was like 45 or 48 or something like that, and unfortunately for him, it turned out his cancer was much further progressed than mine. But anyway, that was my PSA level, 12.2. So the doctors wanted to do an MRI, to get an image of the prostate and see, if they could spot any tumors, or I guess lesions is what they call them, on the MRIs. And sure enough, I did an MRI and they found several lesions. So after that, it's like, okay, we have targets now. Let's do a biopsy. So that was the next step, was prostate biopsy, in which they actually go into the prostate and they take samples and then take them to the lab and put them under the microscope and see if it is cancer, and if it is, they give it what they call Gleason scores. So most of the lesions, or the samples from the biopsy from the lesion targets, in my case, came back with a Gleason score of 6. And those of you that know anything about prostate cancer, most of the time when you have a Gleason score of 6, and that's a very low score, in most cases that is a cancer that does not spread. So more often than not, they will recommend, I think they call it watchful waiting, where they just keep testing your PSA levels, and I guess maybe, you know, every so often, every year, every 2 years, I don't know, because this is not my situation, but I guess they would continue to do biopsies and see if those Gleason scores ever go up or anything. The reason I'm not going that route now is because one of the samples had a Gleason score of 7, and there are 2 types of 7. There's a 3+4, which in some cases they will just watch because it's not considered as aggressive or as likely to spread from the prostate. The one I had is the 4+3, which is more likely to spread and more dangerous. So it was decided that I needed to treat this, especially being that I'm only 52 years old, and I think I don't know the average age of the person's men that get diagnosed with prostate cancer, but I'm pretty sure it's up in the 60s, mid or late 60s. So I'm pretty young to be diagnosed. There's people a lot younger than me that have been diagnosed. I think even people in their 30s. But anyway, mine was a 4+3, so it was decided that it needs to be treated. So what are your options? There are several options I've found out there. Most of them very effective. And so it depends on, I guess, where you live in your area, what your options are, what your healthcare coverage may or may not cover, your company, healthcare company. But anyway, the first option that was presented to me was surgery, which is removal of the prostate. And the more I researched about that, the less appealing it was to me, especially from the high percentage. Oh, there goes my phone telling me it's time for me to go to bed. But that's what happens when you're in the recording studio. Sometimes you're up really, really late. But anyway, the side effects that I've been learning about through, just YouTube videos, following other guys that have gone through this, or even just watching multiple doctors on there, Google searching, all this stuff, even talking to my doctor, my urologist about it. The side effects are really bad, like urinary incontinence, having trouble with your urine, and in many cases can be for the rest of your life. The percentage is fairly high for that, so that's not appealing. Erectile dysfunction, all kinds of just quality of life issues. The percentages are pretty high with surgery that those can be issues. And in some cases, I think probably in most cases, people do heal from those issues. Pretty much everybody has those problems immediately after surgery, and a certain percentage, I'm not sure what it is, so I'm not going to state it here. I want to guess, if my memory is correct, it's around 30-40% of people regain complete urinary control, other than some, I guess, what they call coughing and sneezing and things like that. Usually for most people continues to be a problem throughout life, but most people get normal urinary control down the line after surgery, several months or a year or 2 out. So anyway, I pretty much X'd that one off because I'm only 52, and I'm like, I don't want to have, definitely have those problems for the first few months or even a year or 2. Plus, with surgery, I'm a professional musician. I'm self-employed. I've got students I need to teach. I've got gigs that I want to play, that I need to play. And I don't want to miss, a few weeks of that while recovering from surgery. And, even though they say, you would only miss, I guess, a couple of weeks or whatever, and then you'd be able to resume, you're still resuming with, you know, urinary control problems and other things I don't want to be dealing with when I'm on stage, for sure. So, anyway, I took that one off the docket for myself. Some people, you can leave comments below if you've done the surgery for this, and if you had a great experience with it or a great doctor, go ahead and throw them in the comments down below, because everyone needs to know about this stuff. This is just a personal decision I made with my wife that I was not going to do the surgery. So there's radiation treatments, there's radiation seeds, there's cryotherapy are options. There's focal therapy, which is something I looked into, where because only 1/2 of my prostate had the Gleason score 7, and they can focus on those areas and treat them. But I was having insurance coverage problems with that. So another thing that came across the table is a radiation called CyberKnife. Well, actually, that's just like the brand of the type of radiation, but CyberKnife is the famous one, and that's actually the one that my doctor uses, is a CyberKnife robotic radiation machine. And anyway, that is a more powerful, more focused radiation, and so it only takes, I think, 4 or 5 treatments, as opposed to the old style radiation, which could take up to 40 treatments. Although all the radiation options now are much more safe and more effective than they were 15, 20, 30 years ago. So they've improved drastically on that stuff. What I looked at was the cure rate, which I've since found out only means that you're cancer-free for 5 years or more. The cure rates are pretty much identical whether you do the surgery or radiation. So then I'm looking at, okay, what's the side effects? And the urinary side effects from radiation are, from what I've researched, and I'm not an expert, it's just research I've done on my own. The urinary side effects are not near as bad, or the percentages are not as high that you're going to have urinary problems from radiation that you would get from surgery, from what I've studied. Now, people can leave in the comments if they have other studies that say otherwise. I'm not here to argue with anybody, but I do want all the information to get out to help as many of you people as possible. So there's that, and then also erectile dysfunction and issues like that. The percentages, especially for men my age, much less likely that I'm going to have issues, and even if you do have issues, it from what I've studied, is delayed, is later on. So 1 or 2 years after the radiation treatment, you may start noticing problems. And from what I've studied, if you're not having any problems 2 years out after radiation, there's a very high likelihood that you're not going to have problems with the side effects from it. Also, the CyberKnife side effects that I've researched and heard about from my own doctor and everything, is that most people at the time of it, and this is what was really appealing to me, to do the CyberKnife, as if you haven't figured out, that's what I'm doing, is the CyberKnife treatment. Most people just experience a little fatigue. So in other words, I can go in and get a treatment in the morning, and that night or later in the day or whatever, I can still come here to the studio and do work or teach lessons or play gigs or whatever. It's not going to, prohibit me from doing anything like that. So no missed work is a big time bonus for me in choosing that method. The other thing that I am doing alongside the CyberKnife, for those of you who have prostate cancer or anyone that knows somebody, if you've been researching it or whatever, is I'm doing hormone therapy. And that is where they're going to block the testosterone that your body produces naturally. They're going to block that because prostate cancer feeds on testosterone. And I've been on, so that has been started. I've been on the hormone therapy, which in my case is a drug called Orgovix. I believe that's how you say it, Orgovix. And it's in pill form. So the first day I took 3 pills, and every day after that I take 1 pill a day. And so what that's doing is stopping the cancer in its tracks. It is not going to grow. It's not going to go anywhere. And in fact, it's shrinking to a certain extent. I don't know how much, but it's shrinking the prostate itself. So I've been on that about 2 weeks. The problem with the hormone therapy is, again, side effects, and this is what a lot of people are scared off from. But I think it's worth it, especially in my case, because I'm only doing the hormone therapy for a short term, either 4 months or 6 months. They haven't really decided that yet, but they said 4 to 6 months. So that I've been on for a couple of weeks. The side effects that they warn you about are hot flashes, fatigue, loss of muscle mass, loss of sex drive, erectile issues, all that kind of stuff. And I can say from researching, and luckily I did a lot of research before I got onto the hormone therapy, everyone recommends lifting weights, working out. And that's something I've been doing my whole life anyway. And very lucky for myself, I'm married to a personal trainer. Greg Slone is my wife, and she owns Empower here in Ludlow, Kentucky, in Empower Fitness, and she's a world-class personal trainer. So I'm very lucky there, and she's got me on this program where I used to just lift weights 3 days a week, sometimes 4 days a week, and because she knows how much rest the body needs before the muscle starts to break down, and all that technical stuff that I don't know. She has me on a program where I'm training certain body parts, but I'm lifting weights now with her 6 days a week, and they say that the hormone therapy, it's quick, that you lose muscle mass and strength, and I don't know, she's got me going pretty good, to where not only am I not losing strength and energy or anything like that, I feel like I'm actually gaining working with her on this stuff. I'm lifting, even heavier weight, not by a ton. I'm not going crazy, but I'm doing 5 and 10 pound increments heavier than I was before, because we're working certain muscle groups on a Monday, and then we don't hit that muscle group again, those groups again, until say Thursday. So they've had time to recover, but then we're hitting them again so that they're not actually gonna lose anything. So that I highly recommend to anyone on this hormone therapy. I'm on Orgovix, a pill form, and I from what I'm hearing, I think it may even be one of the less side effect types of hormone therapy you can do. It's a fairly new thing. So I recommend that one if you can get it. And I will say the other stuff I'm not fatigued more than normal, really. I think it's because I am training. I'm working out again with an incredible personal trainer, and eating right. Eating really well, sleeping as much as I need. So I'm not feeling crazy fatigued. I'm not losing the muscle mass. I'm not losing strength. I don't have low energy throughout the day. The hot flashes I am experiencing, I would say though, I don't know if it's because I'm working out or if it's because the Orgovix drug is maybe a little superior to some of the shot forms of hormone therapy that people are given as far as side effects go. But I'd call them warm flashes. I get warm flashes, and I'm getting them several times a day. I mean, I don't think I'd be exaggerating if I say I got it 30, 40, 50 times a day. But it's literally like a warm flash. Like it'll hit me, I'll kind of get a little wave of heat, maybe a little bead of sweat. And I mean, it don't even last 3 minutes, maybe a minute, 2 minutes, and boom, it's gone and I'm fine. So being that it's summertime, we've got the air conditioning going in at the house and in the studio here, and it just hasn't been a problem. Certainly not, again, I would call it warm flashes. It's certainly not like things that I've heard, and read that other people are just going through, like, unbearable hot flashes. So far, knock on wood, I haven't really had that issue. I've had no sexual dysfunction whatsoever. I've had no sex drive loss, nothing like that. And again, I think it's because I'm eating right, I'm exercising, and I'm getting the right amount of sleep to recover from everything I'm doing. And I'm staying busy. And I gotta say, obviously, my wife's incredible. She's helping me with another thing. When you're on the hormone therapy, you need supplements. You need vitamin D. You need calcium. These are things, because not only can your muscles deteriorate, but your bone density can deteriorate. So the doctors told me about that as well. So my wife is watching all that stuff. I've got all these supplements that I'm taking in addition to the hormone therapy. That's, I think, keeping everything good and balanced for me, so I can feel good. But in addition to her, and Christy is incredible, I've got to say, all my bandmates, Floyd and Walkman is a cover band that I play in locally. It does a lot of weddings and private parties and some club gigs. But these guys have been phenomenal in supporting me. I can't say enough about Joe Riley and the Hellhounds, how supportive they've been. No one's worried about me missing gigs and stuff, but if I do, everyone understands. In the case of this band, of course, they can get a sub to fill in, and Joe's just kind of hanging tight, and I love and respect him for it. He's kind of hanging tight until I get through these treatments before he's starts taking a lot of the tour date offers that are coming in for that band. And by the way, check that out if you can. It's Joe Riley, and the album's called The Axeman Unleashed, and it's on every platform. It's on Spotify, it's on iHeartRadio, you can find it on iTunes, Apple Music. You can get it anywhere, and it's worldwide release through Sony Music, so it's really, really cool stuff. But anyway, everyone's kind of being more than understanding, supporting me in every way, and allowing me to get strong and healthy, so we can take Joe Riley and the Hellhounds on the road, and we're looking worldwide for that too. We just hit the Asian market with the release of the music, and Africa and all kinds of places. So I think we're going to be worldwide over the next 2 years, but just got to get my health right, and the way it's going, it looks like all of my treatments and everything will be done by, I don't know, we're here at the end of July. I think it's like July 24th right now. July 25th probably coming up on the hour. Yeah, almost July 25th here. But by mid-September, certainly by the end of September, I'm done with all treatments. Cancer is wiped out. Prostate is treated with the CyberKnife. I will probably still be continuing on with the hormone therapy for a couple of months after that. I haven't heard definitively, but I feel great about the choice I've made. I feel great about the doctors and all the medical team that have been helping me through this, and like I said, my family and my friends and bandmates and fans, and everyone's been incredible. So I just want to kind of share my story with you, and I will do more videos when I have a chance to kind of update you on the progress of everything, good or bad. You know, it's going to be honest. So far, everything's going great, but you know, I'm going to do the CyberKnife treatment, and good or bad, you're going to hear about it. And you know, 6 months after it, hopefully I'll remember to do an update, and I'll let you know, hey, am I having any side effects? Another 6 months after that. So hopefully over the course of the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I'll throw an update video every now and then on this prostate cancer situation. And that way I hope, like it helped me. I hopped on YouTube once I found out I was diagnosed, and I just, you know, I would type in whatever, I'm a Gleason 4+3, and I would see videos pop up, and it was very helpful. Or I would type in CyberKnife, or I would type in radical prostatectomy, which is the surgery, and just study as much as I could. So hopefully this video, along with several follow-up videos, will pop up in someone's search when they are going through this in the future, and I'm just hoping I can help people. So I think that's about everything I can think of. I'll try to update everybody on what's going on. Please like and subscribe and share this video so we can get the message out to as many guys as we can. Get your PSA blood work done, especially if you're 40 years old and over. Get it done, and stay ahead of this thing. It's a very, very successful, curable cancer compared to most. In fact, I think it might be the most successful curable cancer on the planet, prostate cancer, as long as it's detected early, in which case I was lucky that mine was detected early enough. So anyway, I hope this helps as many people as possible. Please leave comments below, share your stories, share links to other, you know, videos or other organizations about prostate cancer. Anything that you can think of that would be helpful to people, please leave it in the comments. And until next time, you guys keep rocking. Hopefully I'll have some more music related videos in the future, but we're gonna get healthy first. Guys, take care.